let me ask you.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Cap Circumvention?
Oh, I love breaking the law, but not really.
Okay, so
I love the gray area. If you're asking me what my feelings are towards the gray area, I love the gray area. Well, okay, no, that could get me canceled pretty easily just thinking about it.
If the NHL wanted to get rid of the gray area, they could.
How?
Playoff salary cap.
We're talking about Eichel?
Yeah. Like, listen.
Dude, I just think, listen, the Blackhawks did this with Patty Kane.
The Canucks did it.
With who?
In their 2011 run.
With who?
They were well over the cap for their run because of.
But what did they do with the long-term injury? Who was long-term on LTIR?
No, but there was enough injuries. They were on long-term through the season.
Samuelson and stuff.
It was Samuelson and I can't remember if Salo was healthy the whole year.
Salo probably wasn't healthy. No,
this is not nostalgia. This is not on the band list.
We're not waxing.
This is strictly this is brass tacks. So I have no qualms about it. And I like the Tampa Bay Lightning. I like the team they've built. They had some questionable road fan apparel policies that they've rectified. Nothing to dislike about that team. So it doesn't offend me. The Blackhawks, this was 2015. It's still
fuck them,
yeah. But the Vegas Golden Knights, what's to like there? I don't like the team. I don't like Jonathan Marchessault, and.
Well, I mean, listen, they haven't. This was the perfect phrasing I heard. They just haven't suffered enough.
Yeah,
you need to suffer more.
And they trade for everybody. Somehow the books. You'd think Emily Castengay was running the books down in Vegas. The way things are so
doing some Ozark cooking the books.
But Jack Eichel. Swindle of the century. They let him have. They trade him for a sensible return.
I think Alex Tuck has turned out to be pretty great. Peyton Krebs,
and it was
we'll see how it goes
based on the risk of acquiring a player with at the time experimental surgery. They got a good return. Nobody expected Jack Eichel, or the way the Buffalo influenced media assumed that Jack Eichel would be years away from playing hockey, and here he is. He's going to be in time, meaningful games in March, and I'm like, that's all well and good. And he's out of he's in a contact jersey. He's playing on a line with I think Carlson or somebody. But you immediately think, well, how are they going to make this work? Because they're
Mark Stone's like, I could go to Fiji for a couple weeks.
I didn't know Mark Stone had a nagging injury.
He had back injury. Yeah.
Did he?
Sure. Dude, I just feel like unless the NHL does something to unless the NHL closes this loophole, it's open to everyone.
Yeah,
and you are more than willing to go ahead and do it. It's the same thing with glitches in video games. Yeah. Sometimes when you're playing certain video games competitively, there are certain glitches that are open, and unless the people go and patch them, they're part of the game. Yeah. And you just have to live with it. And sometimes it seems unfair, but it's part of the game. And unless you use it, then you're not utilizing the game fully.
And we're in the salary cap era, and there's so many difficult ways. It's so difficult to build a contending team and keep a roster intact, a core intact for so long. Mm-hmm. So, and for all the good the salary cap has done, and it has, and there are a handful of negatives that I don't care for, and
a handful of negatives.
So if you can thwart that cap to keep your core and keep a contender contending, yeah, I'm not opposed to it. But what's to like about the Vegas Golden Knights?
Yeah, again, I've never liked the Vegas Golden Knights. They just have not suffered enough.
Yeah.
But it's again they had an expansion draft and they abused it to the fullest extent, and then every one of their draft picks that they ever chose got traded within 2 years. Yeah. Which is crazy.
I remember reading an article about how the Knights are so cutthroat to remain competitive and
is it Bill Foley? Is it Bill Foley?
It's Foley. It's Kelly McCrimmon.
Yeah, it's Bill Foley. Well, Bill Foley is the owner.
Oh yes.
And so Bill Foley he had that amazing quote where he said that they were going to win a Stanley Cup within 5 years, and we all laughed at him.
And we're like, well, shit, maybe this year, actually.
Oh, shit. It was like year one. We're like, damn.
I remember
Bill Foley, thirsty as hell. Holy shit.
But I don't know what we were talking about.
We're talking about Vegas, pal. You're drunk.
But
you had one chestnut ale. You can't keep track of the show.
Sorry, I was thinking about they're so cutthroat. They're getting rid of anybody. Like most of that expansion team is gone. They are moving players in and out.
The Misfits, what were they called?
Island of Misfit Toys. Misfits. Yeah, Misfits. Great name. Got nice punk rock origin.
I love them. I was part of the Misfits once. But then I had to take office, and they said, no punk rock. And I said, screw the system.
Jerry only. A great guy.
Can't do it. And, the Ramones, great people. Even better friends.
Would it be an episode of Pucks on Net if I didn't do my Trump
impression? Your Trump impression got a lot of positive feedback. I got texts from multiple people being like,
listen, Gary, I swear to God, Mark Stone, he can't move his back. He can't pick up a cracker from the floor. He's soaped. He's soaped, Gary. I swear to God. It's not circumvention. This man is suffering. What happened? Yes, his Instagram shows that he's in Hawaii. But that is just because there's a Hawaiian voodoo doctor that does great things with backs. I've been there. He's my brother. It's fine. And also, if you went to this island, you know who else you'd find? Jeb Bush. Remember Jeb? Such a funny guy. He's part of the doctor team there. Mark Stone getting the best, getting only the best. And so Jack Eichel is going to be free to play. He's just going to be playing for a little bit, and then we'll just get to the playoffs. And then there's no rules. You haven't made a rule. Gary, if you hate it,
change the
rule. And if you put in a rule, I'll sue you. I swear to God. Don't change it, Gary.
There's no rules to break. How can we be breaking a rule?
How can we break the rules? You can do anything, with the CBA. You can do it.